Manfield International. That's right, we're in beautiful Manawatu, and it's a beautiful day here. No wind. The weather is shining down on us. Absolutely glorious day here at fielding. And this, of course, Manfield, Chris Amon. From Bulls, just down the road. Chris Amon, who, of course, won the 1966 Le Mans 24 Hours, as well as being a great Formula One star in his time. Sadly passed away. Let's take a look at the track, and alongside me, Jonathan Green, Andrew Waite.
Good morning, Jonathan. As we get ready to go for qualifying, track distance, 3 kilometers, and there's a few passing opportunities around here, especially down into turn 1, into turn 6, and quite often we see passes down into turn 5 as well. It's a very, very important corner to make sure you get off there. Not much elevation, but there is certainly a lot of camber.
A lot of talk about this man, of course, Arvid Lindblad of Great Britain. The Red Bull Junior leads the way on 164 points. It's been a stunning start, and he came to get super license points, and I think he's going to go away with them.
Yeah. At this rate, he certainly is on task to be doing that. He's come out here with one objective, and that objective is looking pretty good. We saw yesterday in the practice times he was very, very quick in the first 2 practices. Not so much in the 3rd practice. Maybe they tried a few things.
Well, he's got some competition. This man got a 3rd and a 4th place here, and that, of course, is Tommy Smith of Australia, returning to the championship, just as he did last year as a fill-up to his American season. He's going across to the USA, and great to have him back, no question about it. Rusty.
Jonathan, Andrew, good morning to both of you. It's great that you bring up Tommy Smith. It's Australia Day weekend across the Tasman. Obviously, a change there. Will Brown is back home, getting ready for the Bathurst 12-hour. Tommy Smith is in, as you say, and it reacquaints him. He was a part of this series last year. He feels like he's been able to get up to speed straight away. There's no lag there, and as you rightly point out, this is all about match fitness, running time ahead of a campaign in the United States. There's a bit of buoyancy in that team, given the performance of Nicholas Stati as well yesterday among the Aussies at Giles Motorsport.
Yes, good point. It's Australia Day on Sunday, so they all want to perform well, and we've got a good crop of great Australians, and it's good to see with Piastri leading the way that there are so many Aussies on the way up following his path.
There certainly are at the moment. A lot of good Aussies going on to some pretty cool things, and same as the Kiwis, we've seen that as well, as we got many of others drivers getting ready to rock and roll for qualifying. They're starting to build these tyres in.
Another Australian, Nicholas Stati. Now, he hasn't showed much. He is the Chip Ganassi junior driver for Kiwi. But yesterday and the day before, he topped the times. So Nicholas Stati, after 2 rounds of, well, not the best, but having said that, he only just stepped into an FR car at Topor. So to see him leading the way has been very impressive. So I'm looking for, in this qualifying session, this number 15 to perform, and he has got his tail up, no question about it. We'll hear from Greg Rust throughout the qualifying, and Andrew Waite. You probably raced here many times. It's not a long circuit, just 7 corners, but it has its own nuance.
It really does. Braking is a massive thing here to get that right. You've got that big run down into turn 1 into a slow corner, and same down into turn 5 as well. It's a massive braking zone, so important corners to get right, but it's one of those things. It's all well and good getting the braking right, but also in a lot of corners you've also got to get the exit right as well, because you've got another long straight leading on as well. So it's certainly a track with some important corners, and like this one here we can see Nicholas coming out of at the moment is turn 6. It's quite a hard corner to get the exit. The track sort of keeps coming back on itself, and
it's also heavily cambered. It's known as Higgins, and they can get a slingshot. We've seen it. We've had Grand Prix here in the past, so we've done a lot of racing here in the 20-year history of the series. Now, it takes about, what, 3 laps to warm the tyres up. They get 2 brand new sets of tyres this morning to head for the 3 races. You'll find them using a brand new set here. They'll use that for race 1. They may use that same set for race 2, then go for qualifying in race 3 with a brand new set, and that will be used for the feature race, which is slightly longer.
That's the ultimate game plan, is to do it like that, and use just the 1 set of tyres for this qualifying session, so we can see them just building that tyre and not stressing it too much too early to overheat it. It's but one thing we have been noticing is the tyres actually been lasting longer than what we have seen previously. Yes. It's normally there's sort of 1 or 2 laps and then that's it, but what we notice is, oh, you can hear someone locking up in the background. We're noticing that they're getting an extra lap out of the tyre, and even that breathe of the tyre towards the end of the session, if they haven't quite got the best lap, they're able to just slow it up and take a bit of heat out of that tyre and be able to go again.
Well, keeping an eye on Zach Schooler. He's the only man, this number 3, coming at us, the Kiwi, who has actually been off track this weekend. He just got a little understeer at turn 7, the final corner, and just ended up on the gravel track, bringing out the red flag. And we're looking for what he can do, because, of course, he's second in the championship on 139 points. And he has been the sensation, really. We expected Lindblad to be fast and to be scoring big points, but we didn't expect this man in his first ever season here in FR to be going as well as he has, as Nikita Johnson hits the top with a 103.8. And we'll keep an eye on just what Schooler can do. He's just still warming himself up for a big run. And in second place, Lindblad at the moment with a 103.8. And Josh Pearson of the USA in third position. The other big lock-up. Yeah.
There was down into turn 5 there. It's quite a hard corner to get right because there's a lot of camber in there and you're still trying to settle the car down from the right-hander first before going into there. So easy done as you've got all this weight transferred to the right and then you're trying to get the car back to the left. So it's a difficult corner to get right, but you can tell he's certainly trying to push on at this point.
So then, we are underway. And of course, this is a 15-minute session. 7:51 to go, so you really don't have time to mess about. You've got to go for it right from the get-go.
Yeah, you do, and you can see there another little lock-up there for Scholar. We've seen he hasn't got the pace that we've seen out of him in the first 2 rounds, and these lock-ups here and there are kind of showing that, you know, he's under the pump a bit more than what we've seen. The car's obviously not to his liking at the moment. He's not able to produce what we have seen. Well,
his mum's still here, but his uncle has arrived this weekend. And his dad's gone back to work, unfortunately. Somebody's got to pay the bills. Yeah, his father's gone back to the UAE, but he'll be watching, and I'm sure tuning in right now. So welcome aboard. The Schoolers really enjoying their time in New Zealand. And I must overemphasize, this man has never raced at home here in New Zealand. He's raced around the world in England and the UAE, but never here. As Lindblad goes to the top with a 103.693. with 8:44 seconds, 8 minutes and 44 seconds to go. There's Nikita Johnson. He's at the sharp end too. And I think this circuit will suit him. He's definitely dialed in, the young 16-year-old. He's the youngest here, the man from Florida. And I'm told the folks at Walker's Key will be tuning in. So welcome. Hope you're going fishing today.
These times are just starting to come down a little bit more. It's quite interesting looking at how the track obviously isn't as quick as what we've seen previously. If you compare back to last year's quickest qualifying time was Roman Valinsky with a 102.2. So it's quite warm today compared to what we saw last year. It was quite an overcast sort of morning, but that just shows how changeable the track can be. It's not that these guys aren't as quick as what Roman can do. These guys are very, very talented. It's just as fast, but the track is so changeable. That's when it comes down to the engineers to be able to understand the track, what's going on, and how to set those tire pressures right, because you'll see them out on the dummy grid or, you know, out in the pit lane. They're checking the pressure, checking the track temperature. They're using all that data to set the car up. Because everything's so changeable, these tires are certainly something you've got to work really hard to get into the window, but certainly nothing like the pace that we've seen previously.
Yeah, Roman Valinsky at 102.286. Matthew Payne's got the outright current lap record in the FT60 of 103.5, and so they're pretty darn close to that at the lead sharp end of it. We continue to watch Nikita Johnson currently on a 103.9 and in second place, so there's time still to go lower. Here's Josh Pearson, another of the Americans. He's in third position. He too will be going back to the States for both testing and the first round of Indy Next. He did Indy Next last year, and he'll be at St. Pete. So tune in and watch our old boys, as we like to say. Talking of old boys, Marciello on pole at Daytona. Great to see.
Pearson in between rounds, he's been off doing a little bit of fly fishing, caught a couple of trout, taking in New Zealand sights.
He's got a whole posse with him. He's got about 5 Americans that are both family, sponsors, and just good friends. So Lindblad, Johnson, Pearson, Tommy Smith going good. Fourth at the moment, Alex Crosby. Now, of all those who've been here before, Tommy Smith's raced here, Crosby, Bowling, and Shin. So, yeah, I'm glad to see that the experience that Crosby has at this place is starting to show. He got some good top 10s last year, and he's currently 5th at the moment. Sebastian Manson in 7th position. He too going to the States after this. He'll be with USF Pro 2000.
Just watching Zach Scholar at the moment. He's clearly struggling a lot. He's just come across the line. He has improved a bit, but he's only up to 12th place compared to what we've seen. You can see from that commentary position, the way he's driving it through turn 2 and 3. He's got a lot of understeer through the middle of there, so he's obviously not completely happy with that car, so he's still down there a bit. And the other one, which hasn't come through after yesterday, is Nicholas Stati at the moment. He's sitting in 9th position. He hasn't been able to sort of capitalise on that pace that he had yesterday.
12 minutes gone. Let's head down to Greg Rust.
It's interesting you bring up Nicholas Stati there. I've just been literally having a word to Gary Orton at Kiwi Motorsport. Now, in the build-up to this series, there was sim time for this young racer to get acquainted with some of these Kiwi venues, and it was in fact Manfield that he felt on the sim that he gelled with the best. So there's a bit of confidence coming into Thursday testing here. They've been working with him to try and unlock the best or the goodness from a new tyre when it comes to qualifying like this. So a little bit of an Achilles heel for him, but we have absolutely seen a step forward so far from Nicholas Stati at this round. Let's see. He's cooled the car off a little bit, slowed it down, just firing it up now as he heads into the final sector here at of the circuit. Let's see if he can get a yield in the final part of this qualifying session here.
Great stuff, Greg. And Andrew, as a driver, that's one of the things when Pirelli came into the championship, we noticed right from the get-go that management of tyres. Those guys who do that in Europe seemingly are better here because they know how to do just that.
Yeah, it just comes down to that experience, being able to manage that tyre. It's something that is great to have in this championship, to be able to manage that tyre and have the Pirelli on, because at the end of the day, it's what they're going to have to do when they go overseas. It's, you know, it's all well and good to say, oh, they should be on a tyre that's just constant the whole way through, but that doesn't help these drivers for when they are looking to go on to other championships around the world. So this is absolutely perfect for them.
Less than 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session, and we are now getting down to the nitty-gritty. We're watching Stati to see if the Chip Ganassi Racing Kiwi racing car can go a little bit quicker, because he has been topping the times, and at the moment he did get into the 103s in that practice, but right now on a 104.1 he'll want to improve on that. But it's Lindblad at the top, Nikita Johnson second. That's a front row provisionally for now. Pearson in third, Tommy Smith fourth, Crosby fifth of New Zealand. We're going to his home next in Invercargill. Then it's Patrick Huizenrode of Australia, 6th, Manson 7th, Montiero, Stati still 9th, and he squeals those tyres as he comes out of the last corner, and he'll start one of his last laps now here as we go down to the dying seconds of this. Less than a minute to go. Andrew, who's your money on?
It's going to be hard to get Lindblad at the moment. He's looking pretty sharp out front, but you can see Stati there had quite a bit of understeer at the last corner there. Tried turning it in, just missed the apex. He's pushing on. This is where you get a real good gauge of how the cars are handling through the middle. He's hustling it through there. You go around the right-hander there, setting the car up for the braking zone, and at this point he's really focusing on rotating the car to get on the gas as early as you can. See the way the car snaps sideways a little bit for him.
So then we are now 15 seconds away, and it's still Lindblad, Johnson, Pearson, Smith, Crosby, Huizenrode. We're watching Stati. Car's getting out of his way, quite rightly, and giving him a chance to go as quick as he dare. And as you said, he got on the simulation and has been looking at this circuit, liking it. It is simple. It's cambered heavily, but this last corner, very tricky. But he executes it well. And now crosses the line. Does he improve? Checkered flag is out. And I think Stati's going to stay. Yeah, I think he's going to stay 9th for now. And he does. Crosses the line now. So there's no change in the dying seconds of that one. And it is going to be Arvid Lindblad who takes the pole position. The Red Bull Junior doing it in style. The championship leader carrying on as he left both Hampton and Topor. And a good session, though, for this man, Sebastian Manson, the local Kiwi, doing his first season of TRS, having done a partial season last year. And James Lawley of Canada, really enjoying his time, and he beat Barrett Wolf in the battle at the back. And that's the 88 coming into the pits, the Canadian, his first season at this level. Never raced these cars before, so he's happy with his progress. I remember Jet Bowling a year or so ago, although he's nodding his head as though he wasn't very happy with that. Disappointment perhaps for Michael Shin, the South Korean, but it's all smiles for Arvid Lindblad. He takes the pole position here at Manfield, and it's the perfect way to start his weekend. Confirmation then, Lindblad with a 103.693 ahead of Nikita Johnson. That's your front row. Josh Pearson starts third. Tommy Smith back in action in fourth. He'll be happy with that. Crosby, Oceania, then Manson, Monteiro of Brazil. That's one of his best qualifyings, actually. Nicholas Stati, although it was only 9th, that's one of his best qualifyings as well. Zagazeta and Shin in 11th. Then further down, Zach Schooler. He'll be disappointed with that, having been at the sharp end pole position for the first race. Enzo Ye of Chinese Taipei, 13th. Sean Rashid, Jet Bowling, James Lawley, and Barrett Wolf.
So just to give you an idea as well how tight that qualifying was, if Zach Schooler found a 10th of a second, he would have gone from 12th to 5th.
Well, it's been that way all weekend long, to be honest, because the times have been within a second for the entire 17-man field, which is pretty impressive, as Arvid has got the lid off. And will make his way across to Greg Rust. Let's head down to the pit lane.
Jonathan, thank you. We might do the formal aspect of things here first with qualifying for round 3 of the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship. We are with the pole sitter, but delighted to be joined by former Toyota New Zealand Motorsport General Manager John Falk to present our pole trophy for this one to Arvid Lindblad. Congratulations. The run continues. Give us a debrief on that session, how difficult it was and so on.
Yeah, no, it wasn't easy. I mean, all week the grip's been really low for everyone, so it's not been easy to drive. And on a track that's so short, there's with not many corners, you really need to be precise because I know that it's going to be so close. So yeah, it wasn't easy today, but we got the job done again. When you look ahead to we're at the midpoint of this championship now, do you get settled? Are you thinking race by race still? What's your approach here at Manfield? I want to win every race, so I'm just focused on every time I get in the car, trying to do the best job as possible. The team have given me a really good car, so it's just about me always delivering, and yeah. Pole is the best way to do it. Let's talk a little bit about the team and the way that you have gelled with that outfit there now over the first few weeks of this championship, and clearly from the get-go it has worked well, Arvid, hasn't it? Yeah, the performance has been strong. Things are going well. I'm happy, and yeah, as we can see, the results are still good. So it's obviously a good sign. Really grateful to the team because they're always giving me a good car, and hopefully we can keep the streak going a bit longer. That is the way to start this round of the championship. Congratulations. Thank you. Jonathan.
Thank you, Greg. Well done to Arvid Lindblad. Another pole position as he rolls on to another. We're going to take a short break.